Hey, what's going on there, everybody? Hopefully everybody's doing great. Just came back from Tucson, Arizona, and again, while I was out there, I decided to pick up another NECA figure. Right off the bat, what I will say that I absolutely hate about California when it comes to trying to find these figures is how incredibly hard it is to find NECA figures in any type of Target in California. It's like they are so scarce no matter what time of the day you go, or if you're just out and about and you just want to see if they have anything in stock. Nothing is ever in stock in the Targets here in California. It's like the demand is there, the supply is not. When I got this in Arizona though, filled completely, like a bunch of NECA stuff, mainly Predator and Alien, but they do have some horror stuff. They had the final chapter Jason, and then they had this part 3. And I was debating whether or not to do final chapter or part 3, and I guess I decided to go with part 3. Kind of kicking myself, wished I had actually gotten the final chapter one instead, just because the final chapter one seems to have more accessories, but I kind of like the paint detail on this one a little bit better, but again, I kind of wish I had gone with the other one now. But that being said, the reason why I picked up this one, I've been trying to find a classic Jason for a while now. The part 6 one that I have doesn't really look like iconic Jason to me. This one kind of does, and this is why I wanted to pick up another Jason, and it would have been this one. I don't want to pick all of them up. Maybe in the future I will, but it just becomes expensive just to have the same figure with just different accessories, really. I guess part 1 Jason is probably the only exception to that he actually looks kind of different. With that being said though, let's go ahead and get into this figure, guys. So this figure came out, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, so it's kind of an older figure. It could have came out maybe even a year ago. So there's already quite a few reviews on this, but this one is my review. So the box art is 3-dimensional. As you can see, the dagger moves in your location as you move the box around. Traditional NECA packaging, you get to display what he looks like on the back here. Now let's go ahead and open him up, and you will see me in the glare there. Hello. Again, traditional NECA packaging here. Right off the bat, what I couldn't figure out, it's like the paint is like scuffed on his nose deliberately. I don't really like that, because if you actually look at the figure itself, it's not actually scuffed on his nose on the mask here where my thumb is, but for whatever reason they decided to include that scuffing on his mask, and I wish that was just completely taken away. But yeah, the difference between the final chapter Jason and this one is the final chapter Jason, totally same sculpt, everything. And the only difference, if I remember right, is just his pants are brown, whereas this figure, it's more of a denim blue. So right off the bat, you do get 2 interchangeable heads with 2 interchangeable masks. You do get a pitchfork, a knife, it looks like a wrench, some kind of wrenchy vice grips. You also get a spear gun, you get a fire poker, a machete, the classic machete, and then you do get an axe. Now the thing that's kind of disappointing, and maybe my figure's just fucked up, I don't know, they added blood on the axe and the knife, but they did not add blood on the iconic machete. How do you fuck that up? Don't ask me. And so yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and just take them out, and I'll show you the figure, show them the articulation, and see if this is the first NECA to actually fall apart on me. Because we know NECA and their reputation of figures and how they just completely break on people. If the joints feel a little too stiff, I may just not try to articulate it. We'll see when we get in there though, guys. So let's go ahead and take them out of this packaging. All right, figures taken out of the packaging here. Haven't even articulated them yet. I tried to get them to stand as best as possible without bending the joints just yet, and that's the best position I can get them in. Now, before we go into articulation, let's go ahead and cover his accessories. So as we've mentioned, he does come with a little knife. As you can see, there's the blood decals there. Very nice, very nice. So he comes with a little knife, and you can stick this knife in his alternative head here, which was what I think it was designed to do. So if you take his little alt head here, and you can kind of, as you can see, like so. So if you want a knife kind of poking in his head, you can do that if you'd like to. It does have a little cutout in the head at the top where you can just stick it there. So nice little feature. So that's the knife. And then you do get the wrench here, the little vice grip wrench here. And then you do get a axe, if it'll focus. I don't think it's gonna focus. Anyways, the axe does have blood on the end of it here. So pretty basic. The feel of these, compared to my recent Ghostface Ultimate, the quality just feels 10 times better on this figure than the Ghostface, I will have to say. Here's the pitchfork, pretty long. The blade itself here is very flexible, very flimsy, so be very careful if you do pick up this figure. And here is the spear gun. The quality of these weapons do feel pretty damn good, I'm not gonna lie. It's not too cheap feeling, and again, flimsy on the end, so be careful of the spear itself on the spear gun. And the most big disappointing problem, and I guess I could always just add it myself really, is there's no blood on this machete. There was a few other part 3s. I didn't really pay attention to this before I bought them, if maybe it was a paint fuck up or something. But yeah, it's really weird how the other accessories have blood on them, but the iconic machete does not. It's very disappointing, but it is what it is. And then you get the fire poker. So, and that's pretty much all of his little weapon accessories that he gets. Now, the alternative head here, we'll go ahead and look at the detail on that. Pretty nice. And the mask does come off to show injured Jason, as you can see there. Gotta say, on this NECA figure, I'm kind of grateful that I did get some pretty good paint for the eyes, because usually sometimes on a lot of my NECA figures, especially my Leatherface, my Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it looks like my Bubba kind of looks off into the top left corner as if he's looking at somebody in his peripherals. It's kind of weird. Not all the Texas Chainsaw Massacres look like that, but just keep in mind that if you try to get a NECA figure, always look at the paint on the eyes if you can. Obviously this guy's wearing a mask, so it's kind of hard, and plus it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, right? But if you do get some that have their eyes, like maybe Michael, Freddy, do make sure that they're looking straight, because my Leatherface looks like he's looking that way. So anyways, so now we can go ahead and cover Jason himself. This is going to be very risky. I'm trying to articulate the joints here. It's very stiff in the legs, I noticed, so I'm going to try to support them as I'm bending the figure. But as you can see, pretty nice. The one thing I do not like about this figure too, though, and it's making me kick myself a little bit, is how there's blood running down his neck, but that's only really ever meant to fit for the alternative head. So it's really weird to have blood shining down his neck, and I could be wrong. Maybe he's always had that in part 3 in terms of the Jason movies. I don't know, but it looks very awkward to have a clean face and no blood on his face, but there's blood on his neck. I just really don't like that transition. So it's almost like you're forced to use this head to compensate for the neck being bloody. But yeah, so there you go. Figure. Okay, so the articulation, I'm just gonna remove his mask here just so I can do it properly. So articulation, he doesn't really look up too much. It's pretty hindered in the back. He looks down fairly decent. Swivel to the right and left, pretty decent. His arms go about there. Full 360. And the joint isn't too stiff in the elbow, so I'm able to actually move the elbow to about there. And the arms feel pretty good. I think it does also swivel here too, just an FYI. And the arms as well. That's nice. And then again, it goes out to about there on his right arm. Full 360. There's a swivel on his elbow. Elbow feels pretty stiff, so let's support this. Kind of bust it in there because it is a new figure. There we go. Now it's not as stiff anymore. And this arm goes to about there and is hindered. Hand moves all the way around, and you can get a bit of a swivel in there as well. So if you want to swivel it up a little bit. And then the legs go to about there, and it's hindered. It is a little bit of a rubbery material though, and his cod piece, and as well as the shirt feels kind of rubbery too. He does have a bit of a torso crunch, but not really. I think it's just up in his waist area where my thumb is, where the torso crunch is. It's actually not up here at his sternum. Yeah, it doesn't move at his sternum, so it's really just at his hips there. Okay, and there's the other leg. Now his knees feel pretty stiff. Here we go. I'm trying to bust it in there. His knee goes to about that long, about that far. Twist in the foot here. Does have some up and down movement, but not very much, just because of the sculpt of the pants. Now this one's pretty damn tough. There we go, got it loose. So this one goes about that far. And again, the legs do twist up and down on the foot. Leg can only go about that far, not very much, because it is limited by the codpiece rubber. Same goes for the back, about right there. So anyways, that's pretty much it for the articulation. Pretty basic NECA figure. Articulation on this guy is a little hindered. There's not really a whole lot you can position him in, but Jason's always been kind of a stiff guy, right? So he doesn't really need to move too much anyways to get him to hold or do his basic machete. So I will probably be putting a machete in him. There we go. Probably make it hold him, or make the machete held like that. Not too sure yet. I will definitely have at the end of this video how it will look. But yeah, that is Jason part 3, guys. I don't know how I'm going to really position him, but this figure, in terms of just comparing him to my Ghostface Ultimate that I recently did, yeah, he is definitely a lot better of a quality build. If you guys are interested in picking this guy up, I would highly recommend it, just because if you're looking for a classic Jason, iconic Jason, this is the guy to go with. So he will be going up on my shelf up above me. I definitely do got to do a video of all the NECA figures I now own, because I own quite a few of them now. But I'm gonna probably be moving them too, because I'm pretty much out of room up there. And I am looking at getting a coffin bookshelf, because I'm starting to collect VHS tapes now, old VHS horror tapes. I want to get a VHS player and start looking at just watching, well, horror movies on VHS. And I'm thinking about putting my NECA figures on the coffin bookshelf, as well as my VHSs, and maybe using my shelves above me up there for something else. Haven't really figured that out yet. Anyways, guys, I will have some more videos for you coming up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns on this NECA figure, let me know. Maybe if yours is broken, and let me know where it commonly breaks. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.